Hello, my friends. It's the Crypto Lunatic, and today I bring you a little update on crypto and what to look out for. Now, if you're like me, you go to YouTube and you see who is talking about what, and you follow the buzz. You follow the buzz. So when I first got into crypto, I spent ages on YouTube because it was during lockdown, so I had nothing better to do. That's actually how it got me into crypto in the first place. And what I want to do is just take you on a very brief guided tour over what gets views of just how YouTube operates. Now, this is a tour of YouTube thumbnails and titles that you can expect when you go into the crypto space. And I am not here to pour scorn on anyone else because the game on YouTube is the more clicks you get, the better it is for you. So it's not a judgment. In fact, I've learned quite a lot from watching other people's title and thumbnails. And here we go. Here we go, my friends. Let me take you on a little journey of what you can expect. So I went onto YouTube and I typed in crypto news, and look what we've got here. And it's all good fun. Crypto is bracing for this weekend. Here we go. When will it peak? You're not ready for this. You can't handle the truth. Bad news for XRP. Now this is designed to get all of the XRP, ADA, and Solana maxis clicking on it. Because from what I can gather, there's not really that bad news at the moment. We're probably going to get some sort of retrace, but here we go. Up, up and away. Yes, here we go. That's the click, but that's the stuff we want to click on. Bitcoin explodes. There it is. So Bitcoin crosses 100,000 and President Trump announces UK trade deal. Sell here. Look, that's where we want to sell and buy here. Well, if you didn't know that, folks, you're never going to know it. I just sold. I just sold. So all of these kind of things. And I just really want to highlight that these are the sort of things. Now, people with their mouth wide open, that is a very common thing on thumbnails. And look, there's Coin Bureau at it as well. Guy at Coin Bureau, his mouth wide open. He's wide open because that's how he walks around. This is what happens when people talk about crypto. Your jaw drops for the thumbnail, just in time for the thumbnail. Look, even Trump's piping in on this one. Breaking crypto news. Trump explodes the crypto market. So the thing is, the reason I bring this to you, my friends, is because there's all sorts of stuff. It's a big competition for your news. So if you're like me and you look for stuff, so Solana, let's look at Solana. I type in Solana, and what do we get? Oh, look, my Solana price prediction. Now, I can say, I will tell you, this is a guy who's usually pretty good. He's usually pretty good. Yes, so is Guy, Crypto Wendy's big thing. Raoul Powell, he's always talking about crypto. You'll see his face everywhere. Now, this guy, I want to give a really big shout out. This is James at Invest Answers. And if you are new to crypto, I highly recommend you click on here and sign up because this is one of the most level-headed guys in crypto. And all he does, from my perspective, is just give you stats, viewer figures and stats. I've learned a lot from James and I've absolutely give him a plug. Very, very good channel for people that are looking to learn and just want stats. They don't want the nonsense, the pumpage. They're just there for to learn. And what James will tell you is that Solana is massively undervalued. He's a big Solana fan, and that's why I hold a Solana position. So you see stuff like this, holders, get ready, get ready. So if you really want to learn, actually go to James's channel. Here's a great place to start. Invest Answers. That's a good one. This guy, he's normally pretty good. And Guy at Coin Bureau, he's a little bit too technical for me. He doesn't keep it quite simple enough, but he's pretty good. He's pretty good. See, Sol is screwed. The brutal truth about Solana. Now that has got to be a load of rubbish because Sol is one of the most solid crypto projects But again, this is a fight for your attention, and you can expect a lot of this, a lot of clickbaity stuff. What I'd encourage you to do before you go to any of these sources, go to DeFi Llama and get your own facts and figures. Find what you're looking for here. If you're going to go into a crypto, do some research, some limited research. You'll see on a lot of the stuff that I do, I start with DeFi Llama. Absolutely start with DeFi Llama. And there's so many good tools here available. You can compare chains. You can go and see who's actually generating income within it. You might believe. I mean, there's a lot of people that are saying Sui is a very up and coming chain. So you say, okay, Sui sounds good. And you might think, well, that's a very big cap project. So what's making the money on Sui? You look here and you see Cetus. Look at that. Cetus. Now that would be just that stat alone would make me, okay, maybe I will do a video on Cetus because they're generating over $250,000 in fees. In fact, it's got me curious. It's got me curious, my friends. Let's have a little look into it. It's generating tons of revenue. Look at this. Could be a little gem there. Maybe I'll do a video on Cetus. Fees paid by the protocol. So daily fees. Look, we see lots of spikes there. And by the chain. So yes, maybe Cetus is something to look into. But the point being, everything's here to look into for you. You have access to your own stats and find out, are they generating money? Let's look at what's got the most total value locked. Again, that would make me want to look into something like this. SuiLend. So it's obviously a lending protocol on Sui, which will probably be good. So Cetus is one of them. There's a value locked. You can see where they're making the money. So it's all about stats, folks. You can find your own stuff out here. Now, this is something everybody should check regularly. This is on CoinGlass, and this is Bitcoin ETF. This is where the big money is. These are where the institutions, this is where BlackRock play. BlackRock play here. Now, if these guys are buying, then that is a good stat. That generally tells you that if they're buying, that's generally good. And you can see lots of green here. We're in for a little green period, which tells me that we're probably being set up for something good here. Now, maybe they're going to dump on you. Look, it looked like that here, and then they dumped all over you. And then they built it again and dumped again. So, I mean, it's not an all-inclusive indicator. But what we see, if you look at total net assets, you see 114 billion there. And as we move down, you'll see, yes, it was up again here and then went down a bit. But generally, it goes up over time. And it's only gone up over time. There's been a few blips, but the big boys are increasing their positions. And that's always a very bullish sign. So there's just a few things to look at. I thought I'd just take you on a little journey today because what I found when I first got into crypto is there's so much information out there. Who do you trust? Who do you believe? What do you believe? Where do you find them? What is the YouTube algorithm going to do to you? And one thing that you have to realize is that YouTube algorithm will give you what you're clicking on. So if you're after hopium and 10,000x gains, it will give you some more of that. And to be completely transparent, I play with my thumbnails and the titles. And even as I record this, I don't know what the title of it's going to be. I'll probably come up with some clickbaity thing myself just to test it out. But either way, do your own research. Just be aware of what you're watching and know this, that most crypto influencers with big followings are being paid or sponsored by people to tell you what they want you to hear. This channel is a tiny little channel and I'm not paid by anybody. I'm just here reporting what I see in the crypto market and having a voice for certain people to find that is going to be hopefully hidden for the masses. And you never know what you might find. I'm looking just to give as an objective opinion as I can and to see what I'm reporting and to help you to stop making the mistakes that I made in the last bull cycle and to just maybe increase your awareness about crypto. And when you're looking at all of this content, who to follow, what to do, how to make your own decisions, and more importantly, how to do your own research. So, my friends, you enjoy your little crypto journey, whoever you choose to follow. Hopefully, you choose to follow this. And should you still be watching at this and you're not already subscribed, then please do this little channel a favor and subscribe to it and like it. And if you want more of my content, you will find it just there.